The Bible tells us that when the world political system is reset into a one world order, the economic system will be reset too. John says in Revelation, "Then I saw another beast come up out of the earth. He had 2 horns like those of a lamb, but he spoke with the voice of a dragon. He exercised all the authority of the first beast, and he required all the earth and its people to worship the first beast, whose fatal wound had been healed. He did astounding miracles, even making fire flash down to earth from the sky, while everyone was watching. And with all the miracles he was allowed to perform on behalf of the first beast, he deceived all the people who belonged to this world. He ordered the people to make a great statue of the first beast, who was fatally wounded and then came back to life. He was then permitted to give life to the statue so that it could speak. Then the statue of the beast commanded that anyone refusing to worship it must die. He required everyone, small and great, rich and poor, free and slave, to be given a mark on their right hand or on the forehead, and no one could buy or sell anything without that mark, which was either the name of the beast or the number representing his name." Wisdom is needed here. Let the one with understanding solve the meaning of the number of the beast, for it is the number of a man. His number is 666. Let's quickly unpack the first part of this passage before getting to the crux. Firstly, it seems that the Antichrist will have a right-hand man, someone who's often referred to as the false prophet, who will help him establish his power on the earth. Secondly, the Antichrist is going to mimic Jesus in the sense that he will appear to be fatally wounded, but he will then come back to life again. And this miracle will help to convince the world that this is indeed Jesus. Thirdly, a great statue will be set up, and this is the sacrilegious object that causes desecration mentioned by Jesus earlier. And it appears that the statue is going to be something more than just a mere statue, because it will in a sense have life and be able to speak. It seems that all our current efforts in the realm of robotics, cybernetics, artificial intelligence, cloning, will eventually lead to a full fusion of man and machine.
Elon Musk has a bold new forecast. The billionaire founder of Tesla and SpaceX said Monday that humans must someday merge with machines in order to avoid becoming obsolete. Musk, who's known for making bold claims and predictions, made the comments during a speech in Dubai. In his latest observation, he warned that disruption from driverless cars will happen more quickly than people realize, and humans need more processing power to better compete with computers as artificial intelligence technology improves. Musk says if you can't beat the machines, it's better to become one.
Computer scientists from giant companies, major universities, and world governments have been working on mapping and translating the brain network to a computer network for decades. We're at the fundamental level of brain mapping already. We've got a while to go until we can map all the connections and states of all our individual neurons at one time in real time. But just imagine where we'll be in a few more decades, considering where we are already. Billions of dollars are being spent on this, and according to top minds in the field, it is only a matter of time until we learn to emulate a brain in a computer and then map a consciousness on top of it. Based on what we know now, maybe we aren't too far from that brain copying future after all.
Can humans and robots get along?
I think people will become very close to their artificial intelligence, using them to expand the knowledge of their own minds.
As you can see from these clips, there's already a lot of time and effort being put into merging life with non-life, somehow being able to transfer human consciousness into a synthetic body. And that is what John seems to be describing here. The statue of the Antichrist, the sacrilegious object that causes desecration, appears to be a fusion of man and machine. And this really is remarkable. Something that has been inconceivable for centuries, something the Bible predicted but which has been unimaginable for thousands of years, is incredibly starting to come into view. The technology to make this happen is slowly appearing on the horizon now, and just at the right time too, because it's coinciding with all these other prophecies that we've been exploring in this series. And now we get to the real core of this passage, probably the most famous prophecy in the whole Bible, that anyone wishing to function under this new one-world government will be required to take a mark on their hand or on their forehead. It's only through this mark that they'll be able to buy or sell goods and services. It's only through this mark that they'll be able to participate in the global economy. Now, this too is something that is coming to pass right here, right now, right in front of our eyes. Using a chip in the hand to buy or sell is something that already exists. It's already being trialed. And again, we're moving in that direction every single day. Over the past few decades, we've moved from paper money to checks to credit cards to mobile phone payments. And now we're seeing a move to implant microchips microchips into the hand to help not just with payments, but with a myriad of other things.
We came across this and saw it being used in other societies. We said, why not us?
Why not us? That's the attitude here at 3 Square Market in River Falls. The software engineering company has taken the tech world by storm by offering to microchip employees.
An opportunity that we saw to really provide something to society.
Convenience, in a lot of ways convenience, really eliminating what I have to carry in my pockets.
Employee Tony Dana says the chip will be used for basic tasks like getting in and out of the building, logging onto his computer, and buying snacks in the break room.
And then to finalize your payment, you'll put your RFID chip, hold it against it. Now my unique card that's identified with the RFID chip, it's asking if I'd like to put the $6 on my chip. So yes.
Since word got out about the chips, 3 Square has been contacted by hospitals, universities, even the U.S. and foreign governments about the technology.
Imagine being able to travel without a passport or worry about losing it. You just hold your hand up and all the documentation comes up.
As you can tell by that clip, this technology is exciting for a lot of different sectors, and because of the convenience, we'll probably see a big push towards this kind of thing in the coming years. The medical profession is especially keen to fuse the human body with this technology because they believe it will help to monitor patient statistics, and it would also help first responders in emergency situations. All they'd have to do is scan the chip in the patient's body to immediately get data on their medical history and their condition, and that would help them understand what to do next. It's important to say though that since the mark of the beast seems to be a visible mark rather than something hidden under the skin, several big companies like MIT, Google and Motorola are currently involved in developing data tattoos, or e-tattoos. As the name suggests, these are visible electronic tattoo marks which can be placed on the skin and which can do everything that microchips can. The various developers of this technology envision a day when these data tattoos can be used to monitor health, carry personal information, be used as passports, and of course, be used to make payments. So the idea that a future world economy could operate with this kind of technology is not at all difficult to understand. In fact, we could pretty much implement this today if we wanted to. Now, it's important that we don't get paranoid about this. I know a lot of Christians who are already wary about using contactless payments, for example, on their credit card, and they're worried that by using this technology, they may unwittingly be worshipping the Antichrist somehow. That's not true, and that's not how this is going to happen. Firstly, the mark of the beast won't come into play until after the one world government has been established and until after the Antichrist has risen to power from within that system. Until you see those two things happening, you don't need to worry about this. Secondly, it's important to state that no Christian will be duped into being a part of this system. Nobody will suddenly look at their wrist and notice a data tattoo and wonder how it got there and think, I'm a part of the Antichrist system and I didn't even want to be. Indeed, data tattoos themselves aren't even really the problem here. There's nothing inherently evil within that technology that condemns people or that makes them a part of the Antichrist empire. What will condemn people is only what that future mark will represent. When the one world government is established and when the Antichrist is establishing his rule, you'll be given a straight choice. If you want to participate in this blasphemous tyrant's world, you'll be prompted to give your allegiance to him and then to take his mark. And that mark will become a visible sign that you have consciously submitted to his authority. Therefore, those who currently use chip implants to ride the train in Sweden have not taken the mark of the beast unwittingly, and they are not doomed. Neither are those who took a chip working for 3 Square Market in Wisconsin. Neither are those who take a data tattoo. I personally still wouldn't advise it because it is getting uncomfortably close to the real thing, let's face it, and I just don't like tattoos anyway. But the only thing that condemns us is rejection of Jesus Christ, and that's what the people of the world will consciously be doing when they agree to worship the Antichrist and take his mark in the one world system. Until then, this isn't something that you can do by accident. The Bible said this would happen, but again, it's another of those where we're not quite there yet. And indeed, it can't happen until the prophecies in the previous 2 episodes come to pass. So we shouldn't actually expect it yet. All I hope I've done in this episode is demonstrate that for the first time in history, this is now possible. And indeed, more than that, the introduction of this technology into our daily lives is just a matter of time.